So we'll zoom in at Indianapolis. Doesn't look like we have too much. In fact, the storm, the severe side of the storm, is starting to end in downtown, and it's pushing east into past Post Road, past 465, coming out to Hancock County, Madison County. You've got some of this slight rotation. When you see the green color, we have to watch. But when you start seeing some of the red and yellow colors, that's when you have the chance that this could be wrapping up just a little bit more. So some wind up to 60 miles per hour coming out of Pendleton and Anderson. The leading edge of the storm is kind of where the green is. So I just wanted to check that out a little bit. Let's zoom out and we'll go a little bit farther to the south, closer to Bloomington and Brown County. A little bit of rotation along the leading edge. Nothing that just kind of screams outward just yet, but we'll keep a close eye. And then right around the Greenwood area, this might be kind of the biggest signature that we have coming right up US 31, crossing over downtown Greenwood. Here's I-69. I'll show you back to the normal radar, kind of what you would typically see. And there may be some slight rotation here in Johnson County. It would be right in this storm, right over here, in between Whiteland and through Greenwood, south of Southport. So we'll watch, nothing crazy, but we are starting to watch some of the storms here. We're going to pause for just a moment. All right, we are back here on WTHR Plus. We're switching over some of the streams and continuing severe weather coverage. These are thunderstorms that you see coming in across central Indiana that are severe. Gusty winds along the leading edge. The orange color shows you all the severe thunderstorm warnings that are out there. The pink color shows you the tornado watch that is in effect until noon today. But the leading edge of the storms coming now into Delaware, Henry, Hancock, Johnson, Shelby, Brown, even Monroe County, headed east into Bartholomew, Jackson, Lawrence counties. New warning now also for Randolph County this morning as this storm is hauling out of Muncie. In fact, some of the gustiest winds may be coming into Delaware County. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer to some of these storms. We'll go from north to south this morning. This is coming across I-69 there into Muncie. Ball State would be right about here. You'll get hit first on the northwest side. A lot of lightning around Gaston. This is in northern Delaware County, about to cross US 35 here in just about 10 to 15 minutes. These storms, by the way, are moving 60 miles per hour. So they speed up a little bit and slow down just a touch, but we're kind of averaging 60 miles per hour right now. These things are hauling, so it doesn't really take a lot for them to really gust out some wind. But Muncie heads up, Middletown and Mount Pleasant. We've got Mount Summit as well. Some of the gustier winds headed towards you guys. Heads up in Winchester around Randolph County. This storm will be here in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's do a quick track on this storm as it's moving east. I'm going to pause the radar so it doesn't keep moving. Let's see. There it goes. Okay. So I'm going to draw this track. It's moving about 60 miles per hour. And we're going to do this to most of the storms. So we'll go from north to south. Newcastle, 909, here in about 6-7 minutes. Farmland, 916. Franklin, 917. Lynn and Winchester, about 9:30-ish, and Fountain City, northeastern. This would be about 9:30 when this storm arrives. That's only about 30 minutes away. It's 9:02 right now. These storms coming in fast, and we'll continue to watch. Lindsey are watching very closely along the leading edge for any kind of rotation that could possibly form. So I'll pop that up just for a quick moment and see if there's anything new. Nothing that is screaming towards us right now. I see a little bit of green. That's mainly highlighting the leading edge of that thunderstorm as it's coming in. Let's go back to normal radar. We'll go a little bit farther south, time out these storms. It's already looking like Indianapolis downtown. The rain's starting to weaken a little bit, starting to lighten up with the heaviest rain over Beech Grove and the Franklin Central Community Schools, Franklin Community Schools. We've got heavy rain up and down Post Road, Warren Central, Lawrence. We've got the heavy rain right through New Powell now coming in, and Greenfield, some of that coming in too. I'll switch over to shear rate just to kind of see if there's anything crazy. And Lindsey, there were just a few moments ago we were watching some of that shear in Greenwood. Do you have any updates on some of these storms as they're coming through?
No, in fact, they are starting to cancel all of those warnings once it moves out. So pretty quickly. So once this moves through your area, we're basically good to go before we look ahead at another round of storms likely to impact southern parts of the state later in the day today. So this is a quick moving line. And that highest threat is going to be that damaging wind gust potential. I wanted to point out here, as you see on radar, we did have that one storm report. It was over at Hendricks County, located near Liston, State Road 136 near the entrance of Tri-West Middle School. There were some reports of some trees down. Also some reports of some shingles had come off a home that was across the street from the school. And lots of reports of trees, branches down in and around that school parking lot. And the estimated time on that happening around 8 o'clock this morning, and that was from the National Weather Service estimating that time based off of the radar. So we've been watching this. In fact, I want to take this back about to 8 a.m. So here we are at 9 o'clock. Let me go back about an hour and see basically what the radar looked like at that point. So this is where that storm report was coming in from. So this is about 8:05. Let me actually go back a couple of hours just so I can get right at that 8 o'clock hour. So this was nothing yet, and then boom, that's when the report came in, and then you could see the leading edge of that line. Now, typically, that's how this works. The leading edge is going to be the most potent part of that line of storms, so that would make sense around 8 o'clock in the morning if we do have some damage reports coming in from over in Hendricks County. In fact, we've got a crew headed out there to assess the damage. Our Anna Chalker is headed toward Tri-West Middle School to give us some updates and some pictures from some potential damage. We also had some other trees that were reportedly down throughout the Indianapolis metro. I'm not exactly sure of that location, but our Marina Silva is on her way to the scene of that storm damage report. So while Matt's re-racking, I do want to point out to you a couple of things outside of the radar. Not only have we seen a significant drop in temperatures, we're now down to 59 degrees in Indianapolis. It is still 70 in Shelbyville. So you can see the collision of air masses. Whenever we get this type of very strong frontal system, not only do we get these storms that likely develop along that, we get a large wind field. And we've had some significant wind reports from so far today. In fact, some of the more impressive wind reports that I have seen down in Bloomington. These are your current wind gusts, not your maximum wind gusts. So this is what's being reported from these local observation sites right now. 41 miles per hour in Mount Comfort, but down in Bloomington, some very impressive numbers. This is your peak wind gusts from so far today. Just about 20 minutes ago, we had a 56 mile per hour wind gust in Bloomington. Some other numbers of note: 37 miles per hour in Columbus out at the Indianapolis International Airport, 44 miles per hour. And to put these numbers in perspective, anything 56, or I should say 58 miles per hour or higher, that would put it at a severe threshold, which would warrant perhaps a severe thunderstorm warning. So we've been watching some very strong wind gusts. We've got a wind advisory. In fact, that's going to remain in effect all the way through 5 o'clock today for non-thunderstorm wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour. So there's your wind advisory that's going to be in effect through 5 o'clock today. Showed you some of those wind gusts there. This is your future wind gusts. This is one of our weather models that we watch. So as this front's moving through this morning, you can see how we're anticipating winds getting to and upwards of 50 plus miles per hour as that line continues to move through. By noon today, still expecting 30 plus mile per hour wind gusts before these winds eventually ease into the evening tonight. Let's walk you through the timeline of this line that's moving through. So this is our high resolution weather model. This is going to take us through about noon today. Really thinking once this initial line moves across the state, we will see several hours of quiet time, some scattered rain, certainly. But then as we get into the afternoon, this is when a kind of a secondary line of storms will initiate. Timing on this mainly after 1 p.m. And then as we go deeper into the future, you could see how we could get some embedded stronger storms, especially across southeastern Indiana. This is 5 o'clock today. Severe threat will likely wrap up by about 6 p.m. And then we'll see a significant drop in temperatures after that. So between now and about 10 a.m., we are watching this line moving through. And once it has, we're already starting to see that tornado watch get dropped. So all of our westernmost counties have now been dropped from that tornado watch. Still be ongoing till noon for the rest of the state, but likely going to see those counties get dropped as this line of storms continues to move through. At this point, it has mainly moved into the eastern tier of the state. I'll back out here as we're starting to see a few more damage reports coming in. Here's a wind gust report of 58 miles per hour located in Madison County. That came in about 8:50, so about 20 minutes ago. And now we're starting to see more reports coming in from a little farther back to the west. That was the tree down. Okay, this is the new one. In northern Marion County, there's a report of a garage door that was blown in the Meridian Hills area around 8:28 this morning. Again, that time estimated from radar as that moved across the northern tier of Marion County. Good news is Marion County almost in the clear. We've got the very tail end of this still exiting the very easternmost extent of Marion County as they've continued to issue these warnings, Matt, across east, central, and eastern Indiana, that all associated with that one line of storms.
Yeah, I want to show you that line right now. We've got a camera. This is in from Knightstown. Ooh. So southwestern Henry County, which you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll step to the side so you can see it's a little bit better. What we are looking at is the leading edge of this line of storms. This is what a lot of folks have seen throughout the morning. You see the darker clouds, and then kind of behind the darker clouds, it starts looking kind of blurry and faint. That is the heavy rain, and sometimes maybe even some small hail that is falling. So you're looking along I-70 and you're looking westbound. So this storm is coming right towards you guys for the Panthers this morning, coming down US 40, coming down I-70. I have a couple other cameras this morning. This is live looking Newcastle. So you're a little bit farther east, a little bit farther from the storm, but you can generally see darker skies off in the distance. Newcastle, heads up, storm's headed for you. And like Lindsey was talking about in Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis, the severe threat is now over. Eastern side of the county, over by Cumberland Road, Post Road, we still have some leftover downpours, but much of this is now exiting Indianapolis, where temperatures, let's see, look at this, Lindsey. You were just, what, 72, I don't know, 30 minutes ago or something? Now it's 59, and will probably continue to drop. A lot of this is the rain-cooled air, and then Lindsey's been talking about that cold air rushing in. So back to a wide view, a couple different things going on. We have the radar with the storms, and then you have the alerts as well. The orange color shows you the active severe thunderstorm warnings that are coming right through Delaware County into now also including Jay County, heads up around Portland. Winchester, Randolph County, you have storms that are just about to arrive for you guys within the next 15 to 20 minutes. It's already passing through Muncie right now. Hancock County, we are in the thick of it. From Greenfield to Maxwell to New Powell to Eastern Hancock, it is pouring down in buckets. That Knightstown camera is right about here, and then we're showing you with that kind of the shelf cloud a little bit as it was approaching. And then storms continue in southern Indiana, anywhere from Franklin South to Edinburgh and Taylorsville. Coming out of Brown County, heads up around Columbus, Seymour, you have storms on the way. Bedford, we're in a downpour as well. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put this to the side really quick. I want to zoom in just a little bit and go quickly county by county and kind of give you an estimation of what's happening over the next few hours. So we're going to start to the north and west. Blackford County, and also into Delaware County. You have the storm over you. Muncie to Selma, Hartford City. Although Ball State, which is on the northwest side of Muncie, we're already starting to see the downpour subside a little bit, lighten up, but still rain off to the west. But that severe threat is slowly exiting Delaware County and headed into Randolph County. So heads up around Winchester and Union City. This storm will be in your neck of the woods in about 15 to 20 minutes. It's moving by about 60 miles per hour. It's not messing around. We'll continue to watch the leading edge. Just real quick, I'll pop up our shear. It's our rotation detector. Nothing too crazy. There could be a slight rotation right there in northeastern Delaware County, just to zoom in a little bit closer. This will be around Red Key to Ridgeville, so this will head eastbound. This should mainly stay north of Winchester, but maybe just south of Portland, kind of hugging the Randolph and Jay County lines. Back to radar. I'll zoom out again. There's Winchester. You got the storm coming through. Mount Pleasant, Mount Summit, Newcastle, Henry County. We've got the storms. So Henry County, half the county is already in the thunderstorm. Newcastle, it is just starting in from the west, now headed to the high school, headed out to Dublin Pike and Wilbur Wright Road. This would be about Tri-High schools. We've got storms headed to you guys here shortly. And then in Knightstown, we have heavy rain that's just about to start. So Henry County, you're in the thick of it. Wayne County, you may get a severe thunderstorm warning here shortly from Cambridge City to Centerville and Richmond to Hagerstown. Storms coming in within the next 30 minutes or so. Farther to the south, Hancock County, we are in the thick of it this morning. Give us another 20 minutes and this thing is out of here. Farther to the south, Shelby County. Let's take a closer look at you guys because we do have a very slight boomerang effect where some gusty winds are coming in to the Golden Bears this morning. I'll turn on the shear rate real quick. Nothing screaming at us right now, but some very gusty winds are just about to rush right through Shelbyville. Zooming a little bit closer. This would take us right to, you can see Beach Brook and Brentwood. Some of these are some of the communities that are inside the Shelbyville area. So storms just right coming into downtown now. I'll zoom back out. Rush County, storms are approaching. So right around Rushville, another 15-20 minutes, your storm will arrive. Farther east, Fayette County and Union County, maybe another 45 minutes or so before the Spartans start picking up some of the heavier storms, but very gusty winds along the leading edge. Farther south, we'll take you to Decatur County and Bartholomew County. Decatur County, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Greensburg, but not the southern half of the county. We may get that changed as storms get a little bit closer. Greensburg, another 30 minutes or so before the storms come out of Taylorsville and eventually Hope, Indiana, and they'll be around the Pirates here shortly. Farther south, Bartholomew County, we have rain widespread, but the storm itself, the bigger downpour, is coming right through Edinburgh and right there Taylorsville. So Columbus, you're going to be next. A lot of the downpours are still down State Road 46 around Brown County and Nashville, so heavy rain coming in. A lot
they
of
dropped that
winds.
warning actually, Matt.
Did they just drop it?
Yeah, there
right
it went.
there.
Yep. So that one was just canceled,
Right
the one
here.
over Bedford. Yep.
Okay, that's good news for you guys. For North Lawrence, the Stars this morning, we do have downpours, but like Lindsey said, severe thunderstorm warning has now been canceled. I still have the watch up, so you still see the pink, but I tell you what, once these downpours leave us, we may see more deactivations. But something that Lindsey's been watching, notice how the southern, kind of the boot of Indiana, southern Indiana, not as many storms. Of course, you are getting away from the radar, but all that taken into advance. Southern Indiana, Lawrence County, Jackson counties, we may see more storms later this afternoon. Hard to say how strong they will be. We have to kind of reevaluate the atmosphere after storms ride on through and we take a look at some more data coming in. We'll need to keep a closer eye farther to the south and to the east where there's not as many consistent storms. Actually, let's go ahead and go north. Hey, we need to go ahead and get on channel 13. We've got a tornado warning for Jay County. I'll let you guys in the control room help me out with this. Just let me know when to stop talking, but I need to let you know that rotation that we saw coming into Red Key this morning,
Yep.
There is that tornado warned storm. Do you have any information on the warning? Is there any confirmation? Lindsey, do you see anything on that coming out?
No confirmation on this yet. I'm checking in with the Weather Service here in central Indiana.
So this does include Portland. This includes Jay County High School. This thing is going to be approaching US 27 here shortly, but Red Key, you're in the southwestern corner of Jay County. You're included in this tornado warning.
Yeah, so this is actually issued from the Northern Indiana office, which is why it didn't populate in the Indianapolis office. So this is what the Weather Service says. This is going to run through 9:30, so this is a 15-minute warning. It's currently moving at approximately 60 miles per hour off to the east. So again, a very fast moving storm cell. Rotation was indicated on radar. No confirmed tornado as we anticipated, but this is the exact setup that we would anticipate along these lines.
We're going to pause. We're going to hop on to channel 13. All right, good morning, 8:17. I'm joined by meteorologist Lindsey Monroe. We have a tornado warning for Jay County. This would include Portland. This would include Portland schools, Jay County High School there. We've got this severe thunderstorm that's now turned tornado warned with a really tight rotation right over Red Key. This is State Road 1 up and down between Red Key to Pennville is where we've got this rotation. I'm going to turn on just the rotation itself. You can kind of see that coming right through Red Key and Green right now this morning. This would be just down State Road 67. That takes you out of Red Key and kind of heads you out towards Jay County. But we were watching this tornado warned storm. If you are in Jay County, especially from Portland south to the Randolph County line, you need to make sure that you go ahead and get into your safe place. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Try to get to the lowest level. But we're going to be watching this circulation. I'll turn on just the velocity itself. It's a little bit tough to see, but what you're watching is here this bright kind of whitish red color, pink. This is air surging east, and it would be kind of right in here, right along State Road 67. This would be on the northeast side of town. So as soon as you get past the subway, east of Red Key, that is where we have that rotation. There's a lot of farm fields out here, anywhere from South County Road 800 West or West 500 South. These are some roads that are kind of crossroads between Red Key and Green, Indiana. I want to put a quick track on this. Lindsey, 60 miles per hour is roughly?
Moving east at 60, yes.
Okay, thank you, Lindsey. So let's go ahead and put a track on this. We can only do about 38 for now. Let's go ahead and switch this to 60, and we'll get you an estimated update. All right, so Portland, so Jay County High School, 926. So here in just about 6 to 7 minutes, this rotation will be right over Jay County High School and the rest of Portland, and then crossing US 27 about the same time. Then you get into Ohio, and then it gets into Western Ohio. But this is just Jay County. Delaware County, you are no longer included in the tornado threat. This looks like the cell is pretty much completely now just into Jay County. This is what the normal radar looks like. There could be a little bit of hail too, but on the northeast side of Red Key, headed towards Green, this is where that tornado warned storm would be. There's also the Belcroft Nature Preserve, which is just around the Green area. That's just south of South Como Road, taking you out of Green, Indiana, but it's headed towards the Portland area. Once again, if you're in Portland around Jay County, you need to make sure you go ahead and get to your safe spot. Here's Como. So South Como Road takes you right out of Green, headed up to Blaine, College Corner take you all the way south about Richmond, but College Corner area, we are watching this tornado warned storm come towards you. So around Portland this morning, you could take right through Blaine and come up. This would be State Road 67. This white line shows you State Road 67 into the west side. You need to make sure that you're in your safe place. So the Jay County Junior and Senior High School is right about in here on the west side of town. So it's a little bit outside of town. You see Portland with the city streets. Jay County High School is right in here. Junior high and senior high is where that storm is getting closer. We don't have any confirmation that it's on the ground or anything like that. We've been looking at the debris signature. I don't really see anything. There could also be a little bit of small hail in this, but see where you have some of these orange colors? That's where that rotation is. I'll switch back over to just the shear rate. This shows you the rotation that we are watching this morning. I'll go ahead and go a little bit farther south just to make sure. Lindsey, it looks like it's hugging kind of the north side of the polygon. The red shape, the color. But Jay County, you can even see the school right in here, if I zoom in a little bit closer. Junior high, senior high school, that's where this rotation looks like it is coming closer. Lindsey, do you have an update as well?
This is very typical of this type of setup. And we talked about this as we have been watching this line of storms move through. The primary threat was damaging wind gusts. But whenever we get some slight rotation kind of on the leading edge of the line, we tend to get these kind of buckles in the leading edge because the wind speed is going a little faster than the other parts of the line that surround it. So while we are picking up on that rotation where Matt was pointing out, the shear marker being the most intense, just south of there. And now keep in mind, this radar is looking very far out from the actual radar site, so it's not an exact estimate, but we are picking up on the potential of winds within the leading edge of that storm, potentially just south of that main core of rotation, in excess of 66 to 74 miles per hour. So we've had damage reports with this line as it has moved through, so would not be out of the question to see some down trees, some down power lines, potentially some isolated power outages with this, because based on some of these radar indicated wind speeds, that puts us in that damage zone. Yeah,
and Lindsey, you've been talking about it this morning. Even though that wind is higher up, we've seen a lot of that wind be able to reach towards the ground. So if you live in Jay County, don't be surprised. New scan just now coming in. Don't be surprised if you're getting 60 to 65 mile per hour winds out of this. A lot of lightning on kind of the north end of the circulation. I'll turn on the shear rate as well. Okay, it looks like some of the rotation would be around Jay County's junior senior high school over Poet Bioprocessing. That's the plant that's just south on State Road 67 coming past the junior senior high school. And then you have the city of Portland. So you've got the Wings and Rings on the east side. You've got the airport, the Portland Municipal Airport, that's right on here, the north side. We've got the circulation headed towards you. It's a little bit broad right now. It gets a little tricky when you're this far from the radar as well. So the indication's not as maybe potent as it could be. Farther south from College Corner, south into Collett and New Mount Pleasant, that's where we have down State Road or US 27. We've got a couple communities in here. We're going to be watching that rotation. Once again, tornado warning for Jay County. If you're in Portland, now you only have a couple seconds in order to get to your safe place. You want to make sure you get as many walls between you and the outside and get to the lowest level of your home that is possible. This storm coming up 67, about to pass over US 27, but this thing is moving fast. Lindsey and I have been tracking storms all morning long that are raging about 60 miles per hour or so. They're moving with the speed of traffic roughly of these interstates. Of course, no interstate right here through Jay County, but it's possibly moving faster than what folks are going down State Road 67. So this is a strong and potentially dangerous thunderstorm. You have a lot of wind with it as well. It's not just the tornado threat, but we're on here on Channel 13 because of the circulation that is right over Jay County Junior Senior High School coming into Portland. The school is on the west side of town. You take 67, you come right past the Wings and Rings, and you get right into downtown Portland. New scan coming in this morning. It looks like it's pretty much sitting right over Portland now. I just kind of zoomed out for a second. I just want to show you where the red ends. Once you get into Randolph County, this is no longer active. It's just for Jay County. And if you're in the western side of the county, I do want to let you know around Red Key and Green and Como, up and down South Como Road, you are no longer really where the circulation is anymore. This thing is over Poet Bioprocessing, that plant just south of the high school and coming into near downtown Portland. So there's the storm. I'll turn back on velocity. This is what Lindsey was talking to you about. The gusty winds, the strongest winds are on the south end of Portland. So that would take us by the Hudson Family Park. You've got the dog park over there, the Hoosier Park. This would be just south of the Marathon gas station, which is on the south side of Portland and areas south. You got Williams Auto Parts here on the south side too. But what's happening with this white color is the winds are just racing out from the storm, and we think they may be wrapping back in around themselves around the Portland area. Once again, if you are in Portland, you have seconds. You need to go ahead and make sure that you are in your safe spot. And farther out east, Noble and Fort Recovery. I mean, we're right by the Ohio state line. See this black line? That is the Indiana-Ohio state line. So this thing is almost out of here, coming out of Jay County. But up and down 67, right by, you got the Museum of the Soldier there on the east side. You've got Circle K coming right out of downtown. These are some landmarks I'm trying to let you know. If you're in Portland or you kind of know the Portland area, this is where that rotation is. We don't have any indication that this is really quite on the ground, but you need to go ahead and treat this situation that there could be a tornado that touches down at any time. This whole storm system that's been coming out of the plains has produced tornadoes, and right now we do have that tornado warning for Jay County. It is tough to see right now. We're looking at the debris detector. Sometimes if you would see, more of the yellow color, you could see something that may be trying to mix in. So we don't have a confirmation right now that anything is on the ground. Some of this may also be hail. And when you're this far from the radar, it does get tough. That's why the National Weather Service went ahead and just put a tornado warning out for Jay County. I'll go back to just the shear. This shows you a rotation. Looks to be a little bit weaker from this standpoint. But we still have this tornado warned storm that will go up to about the state line with Ohio. Look how Randolph County, no tornado warning, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. Wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And then north of Portland, you get cut off from the tornado warning. We still have wind up towards Pennville and the north side of the county. Let's go back to radar. I'll do a really wide view. Some of you may be tuning around Indianapolis and thinking, I've got storms, what's going on? Well, we're covering the tornado warning in Jay County right over Portland this morning in the heart of the county, but we do have severe storms that stretch south into Randolph, Wayne, Henry, Rush counties, and then farther south into Decatur County, where we've got storms headed to Greensburg next. Rushville, we've got huge storms headed to Yours Way right now, right around Tri-High to Wilbur Wright Road in Henry County, and then heads up around Hagerstown, Cambridge City, Richmond, Centerville. These storms are coming towards you. Indianapolis points kind of to the north and west. Yes, there are rain showers, but the severe threat is now over. So I just want to give you a wide view of what's going on. Still severe storms for much of eastern Indiana, but the tornado warning that we have active right now is in Jay County. Also, you can see some wind reports. Lindsey's been going through some of those reports. Do you have any new
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna send it over to Lindsey. You got an update?
We've got all kinds of wind damage reports that have come in. If we can, I believe our NDOT camera has an overturned semi. I believe it's NDOT 1. If we could show that. This is going to be from, I believe it's on the south side. Yes, so this is the camera that we've been looking at here. This is I-65 at County Line Road, and I believe this is located in Johnson County. Let me see here, just down to the south of Franklin. So this is going to be southbound I-65, overturned semi. You can see we've got some vehicles off into the ditch as well. So all travel lanes 65 southbound at County Line Road do appear to be blocked. So that is just one incident that's out there now. It has been one of those situations where we have had lots of wind damage reports across the area. So let me actually take this back to our maps here. And again, we've been monitoring this ongoing tornado warning as rotation has weakened over in Jay County. That tornado warning expected to expire here at 9:30. But I do have, if I back out some of our reports that we have seen so far today, new reports coming in. This one was in the Meridian Hills area. We had reports of a garage door that was blown in around 8:28. Up in Noblesville, we had reports of a large tree blocking the southbound lanes of State Road 37 near Promise Road. That happened just after 8:30, so that is in the cleanup process as well. Had a report here, 58 miles per hour, a wind gust there in Madison County near Linwood. Also had some reports of tree damage across portions of Madison County as well. And then another wind gust in excess of 58 miles per hour across southern portions of Delaware County.
Hey, Lindsey, just new report. The tornado warning has now been canceled, but I'm going to toss it back to you because I think we've got some live reporters in the field at some point ready for you.
I just want to double check in with our team in the production room to see if we're ready to.
We're ready to toss.
Check in. Okay, they are available. So what we're going to do is send it out now to Anna Chalker. She's off of State Road 136 near Tri-West Middle School. Reports of some storm damage there in the parking lot and surrounding areas. What are you seeing, Anna?
Well, Lindsay, we'll show you the school here in a little bit. We've moved away here for a little bit. We actually pulled over to a side street from Tri-West Middle School to see some of the wind damage here. You can see it here behind me. This tree, huge tree, uprooted out of the ground here. That is the biggest damage we've seen so far out here. I'll be honest with you. A lot of branches from trees. That's kind of everywhere, especially by our feet. We can show you down here. Some corn stalk is on the ground as well. It's mainly just a lot of little things that have flown around, but this tree here, that has been the biggest one as well. Looks like it's just a big pine tree that is now in this person's front yard. Some of the road construction signs here along the sign, you can see they've been bent forward, and we'll show you Tri-West Middle School. We are still a little ways away from that. We moved away from there. It was smaller trees that fell into the road. We did see a crew pushing them back outside. There were some shingles from a house across the street that was in the yard, and I will tell you, it was business as usual at the school. The power was on, so everything was good on that side of it, and we saw several parents still dropping off their kids this morning. We have reached out to the district to make sure everyone is okay, that if there was anyone inside the school at the time when all of this happened, but it looked like business as usual from where we could see. But again, checking in with the school here, checking in with Lidston, that's the town that we are in here today. We've talked with a neighbor driving by. He said he's looking at his house, trying to make sure there's no damage there, just kind of keeping an eye on all of that as well. We will be checking in with these neighbors over here, trying to see what they saw, what they experienced in here, and hoping to get more for you soon.
Okay, thank you for that update, Anna. Yes, we're up to about 6 damage reports, all of them wind related so far this morning. So as we are right now at 9:32, free of that tornado warning that was previously in effect for Jay County, that has since expired, but we still have several ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to continue our coverage of severe weather back over on WTHR Plus. All right, welcome back. It is now 9:33. I'm meteorologist Lindsey Monroe. We got some team weather coverage ongoing for you. Matt Stanridge, meteorologist, also standing by. We're going to be with you here on WTHR Plus while we have active warnings in central Indiana in the Indianapolis viewing area. Now, all of those warnings are now severe thunderstorm warnings, and they are mainly across eastern and southeastern parts of central Indiana. So we'll toss it over to Matt to give you a rundown of our current radar.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. You've been watching these storms from Illinois, and now they are here, but now into eastern Indiana. Still active severe thunderstorm warnings for Randolph, Wayne, southeastern Henry, Rush, Fayette, Union, and northern Decatur counties, even eastern Shelby County, but that may be deactivated here shortly. And you can see behind the storms, we've had multiple wind reports. And of course, we just had that live report on Channel 13 with Anna Chalker there from Tri-West. Here she is this morning. But let's go ahead and take a closer look in eastern Indiana where these thunderstorms are still coming in. Hagerstown, my goodness, it is just starting to pour right now for the Tigers this morning in western Wayne County, coming into Cambridge City, Lincoln this morning as well. So let's go ahead and I'm going to move this radar so you can kind of see the loop of it over time. I'll take some of these storm reports off, and there we go. All right. If we're able to pull up links 4 behind me, whenever you can, we'll be able to continue our coverage here. But I just wanted to give you a wide view of what it looks like this morning. There we go. Thank you guys so much. So the pink color shows you the tornado watch that remains in effect until noon. But notice, areas after the storms, a lot of the watch has now been canceled. May not be canceled for all the southern counties. We'll have to watch because the biggest storms have been in the heart of central Indiana and in parts of north central Indiana. But we have a big thunderstorm right through Winchester right now into Randolph County and then into Wayne County. Let's kind of go quickly county by county, and then I'll put a storm track all the way up to the state line. So Winchester, Falcons, we've got heavy rain south to Randolph, Southern, around Lynn, Modoc, Luzantville. We've got some of the heavy rain and storms for you guys. Here's Union City. We've got very heavy rain approaching Saratoga as well. Farther to the south, coming into Fountain City, so northeastern, coming down US 27. Very heavy rain and storms coming through right around the high school there around northeastern. It's just about to pour here in about 3 or 4 minutes. Farther south and west, this takes you into northwestern Wayne County. Here's Hagerstown coming out of Economy and Greens Fork there. We've got heavy storms. A lot of lightning with some of these storms too. You can see the lightning bolts that are on the north side of town, very close to the Hagerstown Junior Senior High School. Here's Greens Fork, heavy rain coming into you guys. We'll zoom out, oh, wrong way. That's coming right down State Road 38. Then we take it around Richmond, where we've been on and off with the showers this morning. But the thunderstorms have now just hit the county line along I-70, coming right there at State Road 1, the exit for you go south to Cambridge City, north to Hagerstown. A lot of gusty winds for you guys anywhere along the leading edge of these thunderstorms. We've had wind gusts that are approaching 60 to 65 miles per hour. We've also been watching the leading edge too, in case there's been any rotation. We had that brief rotation in Jay County. That's one reason why we went on to Channel 13 to let you know about it around Portland. But Cambridge City, Milton, strong thunderstorms coming in from the west, severe storms with gusty winds, but heads up around Centerville and Richmond here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. This thing will already be here. It's moving roughly about the speed of traffic on I-70. It's not messing around. Farther south, let's take it to Fayette County, Connorsville, Spartans this morning. We're in a dry break for a moment, but here in about 5 to 10 minutes, more storms coming in from the west. Waterloo, you're going to be included in that. Bentonville, Orange, Columbia, included in that as well. We'll take you eastbound to about Liberty, north end of Brookville Lake, Brownsville. Up and down US 27, we still have light rain, but those storms are just on the other side of Fayette County, which I know would take you a second to get over there, but these storms will be quickly moving in. They could be arriving around Liberty in about 20 minutes or so. Farther south in the Franklin County, the south end of Brookville Lake at Brookville, coming up down US 52 out of Rushville. Storms leaving Richland and Rushville right now and headed east to Metamora. Beautiful Franklin County storms headed towards you guys. Although the severe thunderstorm warning does not include Franklin County, you're about to get some of those storms. We'll take it to Decatur County, Greensburg, heavy rain. Some lightning at times, but it doesn't look like we have as much right now. Up and down I-74 and US 52, also 421, heavy rain coming down. It's getting tough to see out there at times around Pirate Country this morning in Decatur County. Then we'll zoom out. I'll kind of show you back to the west because I also want to let you know there is some hope on the other side. It's not just going to storm all day, This line of storms pushing on through. You have a few hours of some on and off showers. We're still getting some of those on and off showers around Indianapolis, Fishers, Carmel. Good morning in Kokomo, a little bit steadier around Howard County and Tipton this morning. Some light rain showers around Lafayette and Bloomington. Still some steady rain at times, and Columbus as well. But the severe threat is in eastern Indiana. Now, we have been talking, and Lindsey's been forecasting this morning. There could be some redevelopment. We need to work on analyzing the atmosphere another time once the storms are over to kind of look at the threat. Hey, could anything really pop up later? There could be a chance farther to the south. Because notice one thing. I know we're getting farther from the radar, but still, we don't have as many big, widespread downpours and huge thunderstorms farther to the south, so the air is not as worked over as much. Where it is worked over, it has been used farther to the north and to the east. Colder air is also starting to come in from the northwest, and temperatures will be dropping here very quickly. Here's a closer look at Wayne County. I want to give you a rough timing as we wrap up the state. I'll tell you what, just kind of for coverage, once this storm, the leading edge is really at the state line and pushing east in Ohio. We'll wrap up coverage. Our weather team will then really get into some of the storm reports, try to get you some of that information. And then we'll also be taking a closer look at how's the atmosphere looking for the rest of the day. But let's get that timing with this storm coming right through Wayne County and Cambridge City, Hagerstown, off east into Centerville and Richmond. I'll go about 55 miles per hour or so. And then I'll only do the past, let's say, I'll put it in about 30 minutes or so. All right, so you kind of see it a little bit shorter now. I'm gonna see if I can get a couple more places to pop up. All right, there we go. So Greens Fork, economy, about 942, Columbia 946, Webster 946 as well. Centerville, Bulldogs 749, here in about 8-9 minutes. That thunderstorm will be rolling on through. If you look west over by the soccer fields, you probably see a really dark sky out there, and those will be passing the soccer fields and coming into the junior high school and the senior high school here in just about 10 minutes. Connorsville 949 as well, about 10 minutes from now or so for the Spartans. And then Spring Grove 953. Richmond, Red Devils 954. So I'd say by about 950 to 955, a lot of these storms will finally be hitting the state line. In fact, the scan actually moved the radar a little bit beyond, so some of these times may be a minute or two slow. I mean, this storm is moving very quickly into eastern Indiana, coming right down US 40, coming right down I-70. We'll take a closer look, though, into Wayne County, and I want to show you the shear. That's something we've been watching all morning long. It doesn't look to be that impressive. Also, new update looks to be that the western half of Randolph County no longer included in that severe thunderstorm warning. So out towards Shenandoah, no more severe thunderstorm warning, but we still have one for eastern Henry and then Wayne counties this morning, northern Fayette and then northern Union County too. So we'll zoom in. We've been looking at some of the shear, and remember we saw a brighter shear, or a rotation detector. We saw it a little bit brighter this morning around places like Portland. So that's Jay County, where we had that tornado warning. Lindsey and I were watching it around Brownsburg and Tri-West, where there's some trees uprooted. We've been trying to get more information there. And we've also had some around Johnson County throughout the morning. But this storm has been gnarly coming on through, but it does look like the rotation seems to be a little bit on the weaker side. Let me pull up the velocity. This shows you that gusty wind threat that's out there. What's happening, though, it looks like here in eastern Indiana, the winds are becoming a little bit more uniform. I mean, they're crossing a little bit, but instead of really crossing one another and trying to spin a lot, they're starting to become a little bit more uniform. And so that helps reduce the tornado threat, not down to zero, but it helps reduce it a little bit. So right now we don't have a bunch of rotation. A lot of times these lines kind of speed up or slow down, they rotate a little bit, and then they back off. I think right now we're in a slight back off, and hopefully we can hold that phase until we get to the state line. Yes. You have an update? Ooh.
Camera is. This is the Cambridge City
wow.
State Road 1 I-70 camera over in Wayne County. If you wanted to pull up, that would be N.2.
Yeah.
You can see a very impressive camera here. Check that out.
Hail. I think
it looks like it.
You know, the heavy rain, of course, coming down, but sometimes you see some maybe white chunks every once in a while. Hard to tell. If you're getting hail, it's probably not monstrous hail. I mean, Lindsey, what was the highest report they had maybe in Illinois? Was it 4
The
inches?
grapefruit.
The grapefruit.
Yeah. I'm going to just bounce around real quick.
Yeah,
I'm going
go
to show
for
a
it.
couple of different cameras here in Wayne County. This is going to be basically where that leading edge of that line is moving through. This is, I think they pulled up another camera. This is the I-65 southbound crash in near Edinburgh is where that is. So that's all lanes of I-65 southbound as you're kind of coming up on Edinburgh there, blocked because of an overturned semi, which you can see. Some of these Richmond cameras are just not populating yet. So I'll go back to this Cambridge City cam and maybe one farther. So this is the, if you wanted to pull up, as soon as this loads in here, it's going to take you to, N.2 will take you to Wilbur Wright Road. Maybe we're not getting good internet access where those storms are moving through because a lot of those cameras are struggling to load. But I just find them to be very impressive out in Wayne County. Obviously, that's the core of that line moving through.
Yeah, and once that clears Wayne County, Fayette, Union counties, then this thing's in Ohio. This thing's out of here. And then Lindsey and I and Sean and Angela and Rob are all here as well. They're working behind the scenes this morning, and we'll be able to look at the atmosphere and time out everything else the rest of the day. This is
There
that
it
live.
goes.
There it goes. Come in.
Camera's
Okay.
back.
This is that exit for Cambridge City going south or northbound
And that
into
too.
Hagerstown. Thank you guys for pulling this up. There it is. Okay, I-70. But you can see the camera shaking, gusty winds coming right through. Some of that construction project, remember, they're trying to widen I-70 there to 3 lanes on both sides. It'll take a few more years possibly to do, but you're looking there by Cambridge City. Heavy rain, gusty winds, maybe even some small hail. But we've been looking along the leading edge of this storm for any rotation, and signals are very weak right now, which is good. We have that severe thunderstorm warning, mainly highlighting the gusty winds that are coming on through. That heavy rain. You can even see in the ravine, in the median of the interstate, some extra water. And that's one thing Lindsey has been tracking too, where we've had some aerial flood advisories north and west of Indianapolis, where some places have picked up over 2 inches of rainfall. A lot of ponding on the roads. And in some places, we don't need any more rainfall, especially after last week, where we picked up 6 to 7 inches in spots. But that's a live look there in Cambridge City and in Hagerstown. Let's go ahead and switch back to radar this morning. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Here's that severe thunderstorm warning. Let me zoom out, make sure there's nothing else out there. It looks like, Lindsey, our last severe thunderstorm area is eastern Randolph, which is almost done with eastern Randolph County. This would be Union City. We're just about done, headed out east to Greenville, Ohio. The last big storm is pushing through Wayne County, northern Fayette, and northern Union counties. But this thing is sitting right over Cambridge City, the Golay Center, right up and down US 40, Dublin, Pennville. You head eastbound, Centerville. We've got the storms right approaching the high school right now. The high school is right here on the southwest side. Gusty winds racing through Centerville right now, up and down College Corner, Centerville Road up to the exit. You've got a lot of heavy rain and wind over by Warmglow. Northbound on US 35, we've got some of the heavy rain and wind coming past Williamsburg Pike. This would be the Belden exit. North to Webster, we've got heavy rain and wind just kind of pounding us this morning. State Road 38 this morning, we've got a lot of heavy rain coming out of Greens Fork and Hagerstown. Here's Richmond, kind of see the city here. On the north side, you'll probably get hit first over by the Mire. And then farther north up towards northeastern, we've got heavy rain just arriving for the nights now. But then West Grove into Centerville, heavy rain, storms coming on through. Downtown Richmond, maybe another 5 or 6 minutes. This thing is coming right down US 40. It'll pass the U-Haul, past the McDonald's, coming right into downtown Richmond in a moment. It looks like it may already be past the Centerville Police Department there on the east side, past Mattie Harris and headed east into Richmond. Farther south, over by Forest Hills and over by Abington, the airport there in Richmond on the southeast side. Storms coming in about 5 minutes or so, still severe threat with some gusty winds. Farther south, let's take you into Fayette County. Good morning, Spartans, Connorsville. The rain is just starting to pick up. Heavier on the north side, Harrisburg, Huber. We've got some of the gustier winds and the heavier rain now, but they're coming right into downtown Connorsville here shortly. Up and down, this would be Connorsville Road past Springersville and Lyonsville. We've got rain slowly starting to pick up. And then we take you to Union County, where it's just been some rain on and off, some rumbles of thunder. We're going to get clipped by this storm coming out of Fayette County, although it will likely hit the north side of the county a little bit harder. So anywhere from Abington, there at the county line with Wayne County, south in Liberty along US 27. Most of the severe threat should stay north of Brookville Lake. So if you're on Brookville Lake, you're probably about to get a decent thunderstorm, but the gustier winds are farther north of Liberty and north on US 27 into Richmond. Here's Abington and Hopeville. We've got some rain approaching, but stronger storms off towards the west. There's Milton, Cambridge City. We're in the thick of it, and then Hagerstown too. Lindsey, that camera, it may be done in 5 minutes or so. That's just how fast these storms are blowing on through this morning. Do you have any updates this morning?
I wanted to point out some wind damage and something that Sean actually just showed this to me because we've been monitoring storm reports, mainly wind damage reports. And we had the one that was over near Lidston. That is where our Anna Chalker was reporting live from with all of that tree damage. I want to take you to Lynx 1 on the radar and kind of show you a product that we look for whenever we look for things in the atmosphere. So all of the burgundy you kind of see here is all rain. But I wanted to point out over Liston, you can kind of see right here, we've got this little area of blue. And this is right around the time, if you look here at the timestamp, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is right around when we got that damage report that came in. So I wanted to kind of adjust through time and show you how this evolved. So this was just before. This is as the leading edge of that line was moving into the Liston area. This is 7:56. I'll put this a little bit farther into the future. And right there, right at 8 o'clock in the morning, you can kind of see that blue spot over top of Liston. This is what we're potentially looking at as a perhaps weak tornado that was maybe even embedded within that line that could have briefly spun up and done some damage and then quickly dissipated, lifted back into the clouds as the line continued to march through. So that's going to be an interesting evolution to see how those storm damage reports come in from that area. Again, just to the south of Liston where we did get that storm report. And then as we have gone into the future, more reports coming in just across the area. So just something interesting that we've been keeping an eye on as more storm reports are coming in. Let me flip back over to our reflectivity map here, and then we'll put this more so into, because we're getting some delayed reports coming in across the Indianapolis metro. Here's a new one that just came in. Garage door blown in. We knew about that one. This is a new one. This was from also the Meridian Hills area where we had some power lines that were reported down about 8:25 this morning. Let me go back to the shear rate as these were all coming in, and you can see kind of populating on the map as this shear kind of went through, those alerts popped up, or those damage reports came in. So there's one near Zionsville when the shear kind of moved through there. There's your damage report there. We had another one up on the northeast side of town. And then as that continued to track off to the east, you can see more storm reports continued to come in. So the timing of that all kind of aligned. There's one in Anderson. You can see a wind report came in there. There was a 58-mile-per-hour wind gust, I believe is what that was. Yes, and then we had a new storm report that came in. This is the new one from Madison County. Several trees and power poles down, blocking areas south of Anderson near Pendleton. Even some structural damage now being reported to roofs of houses. And as you can see, that kind of times up exactly with when we had that warning. There's Pendleton. 8:46 in the morning, we had that shear marker indicating some weak rotation, and then we had that report come in. So this has just been the evolution of the storm system. It's primarily been wind damage and wind-related reports. There's another, Yorktown had a report of a 58-mile-per-hour wind gust when that line moved through there. So again, primarily has been wind damage, but as I mentioned, there could have been some brief spin-up tornado type damage over near the Liston area, yet to be seen, but something that we'll certainly monitor as we are continuing to get some damage reports in from across the area. And as of right now, as we flip this back over to our reflectivity, kind of showing you, take everything off the map just to clean things up a little bit. The leading edge of that line now making its way out of, well, let me put this into real time, then we'll talk about where it's actually at. So we're kind of on the very back edge of this happening. Richmond, Wayne County, down into Fayette, Northern Union County, the last little bit of a warning that we still have. That's why we are still with you on WTHR Plus, as we still have some local active warnings. But real quick, do not want you to let your guard down for today. This is the latest on our high resolution weather model that's going to take us through the afternoon. While this morning event is going to start to wrap up, I want to put this into the future a little bit. We'll pause here around noon. Notice this boundary is going to kind of just stall out south of the Indianapolis metro across southern Indiana. So we could potentially, within the next couple of hours here, see some redevelopment in far southern Indiana. That boundary will just kind of ride along and just south of the I-70 corridor. Once again, promoting some storm development. This will likely be a low-end severe threat, but still potentially could see some damaging wind gust reports out of this one as well. This is 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then this will likely all start to wrap up here as we get closer to 5 o'clock. Much cooler air going to be moving in quickly behind this system. Maybe even a few snow flurries mixing in when this is all said and done through the evening and overnight tonight. Also want to quickly remind you that we've got this ongoing wind advisory across central and southern Indiana through 5 o'clock today, as we are expecting non-thunderstorm wind gusts in excess of 50 plus miles per hour. These are kind of your wind speed forecasts for the rest of the day today. So some impressive numbers there. But again, as far as what's going on radar right now, we continue to monitor this last little warning that is still in effect for a few counties over in Wayne County until 10:15, northern portions of Fayette, and then Union County. Again, this is going to be primarily a wind-driven severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:15. So, Matt, that's going to be for the next 20 minutes or so.
20 minutes or so, for sure. And that thing's already racing by the state line. And I just saw new warnings go up for western Ohio. So this line should be just about done, the leading edge at least, through Richmond. They're on the south side, Forest Hills, and Abington. Centerville, we actually are starting to reduce the severe threat already. And same in Cambridge City and Hagerstown. Economy, Lynn, Greens Fork. Northeastern, we're just starting to wrap up some of the heaviest rain. It's still coming down in a big way around Fountain City. And then eastbound to State Road 227 as you're headed out towards Union City. Here's the Middle Fork Reservoir. We've got gusty winds coming right through you guys. And then the exit on the east side by Shelton Fireworks, US 40, where you meet I-70. Gusty winds coming right through the east side of town. This would be over by the IHOP and the Nissan dealership here on the east side, where we have that gusty wind just coming right through. Gusty winds in downtown Richmond, there by the county courthouse. US 40 and East Main Street, gusty winds just coming right on through this morning. There's a new scan. Let's see if that has any update. Not necessarily. Okay, so also very heavy rain coming into Abington and Waterloo. It looks like in Fayette County, a lot of the heaviest rain is just clipping Connorsville. See this? They're on the north side of town, so just north of the courthouse. Anywhere north of the courthouse, you've got the heaviest of rain headed east out on Connorsville Road, Linesville, Brownsville, Clifton, and Abington this morning. So starting to slowly get out of Fayette County and end up in northern Union County. Back to the wide radar. I just want to kind of show you some of the accumulation a little bit this morning. Let's see if I can pull that up. Just over the past 24 hours. This is that zone that Lindsey was talking about earlier, where we had
there's some more storm reports in Rush County if you wanted to pull those up next.
Okay,
yeah, I had a couple new ones.
All right, so we're looking at storm reports. Once the storm comes on through, a lot of these reports come in. Okay, we got two new ones, it looks like. Let me pause the radar. What you see on the map is the rainfall. So you can kind of see different streaks, who's gotten the most out there this morning. Let's zoom in. So it looks like the south side, both are on the southern end of Rush County. Let's see if we can pull that up.
You might have to shut yours.
Yeah, I think I might have to shut that off, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. You might be able to pull it up faster.
Sure. If we wanted to pop over, I got them pulled up over here on Links 1 on our radar here. So actually, I'll zoom in a little bit closer because we've got a lot of reports coming in. Then I'll do a quick rundown while we're awaiting the final expiration of that last warning over in Wayne and Fayette counties. This was the newest report that just came in. We are getting reports of some power outages and power poles that are broken. This was reported in southern Rush County near the city of Bosco. This is 927 that was just a few moments ago, about 30 minutes ago. And we also had some reports of trees and power lines down near the intersection of County Road 400 East and Orange Pike. So that was also at 936 near New Salem. So those were the two newest ones to come in. We've been monitoring the ones from Muncie. This was a wind report. Also, central portions of Madison County had trees and power poles down. Near Pendleton, also had a tree that was partially blocking State Road 37, the southbound lanes. This happened about an hour and a half ago in Noblesville, so hopefully they were able to get that cleared quickly. We also had a 68-mile-per-hour wind gust that just came in from the Zionsville area, and this was also radar estimated to come in as that initial line moved through, of course, just after 8 o'clock this morning. We're going to see some investigation, I'm sure, with what was potentially a weak tornado touchdown or very strong wind gusts on the leading edge of that storm that did a lot of damage over near Liston, especially near Tri-West Middle School, and then some power lines down in the Meridian Hills area. Had about 3 reports there from the near north side of Indianapolis. Here's a new one. Looks like it just came in a few moments ago. This is from Ripley County, so we're getting just outside of the Indianapolis viewing area. Had a 1-foot diameter tree that was knocked down, blocking the roadway near Batesville, if you're familiar with that area, and then also had some trees that were reported down near Whitehall. That's over in Monroe County. That came in around 8:45 this morning.
If we could switch back over to Lynx 4, I'll do a quick wide view showing you the radar across the country, and then we'll zoom back into that storm. We'll kind of wrap things up here in just a moment. Let me clear that off for you. There we go. It keeps pulling it up there. Pull it there. Okay. You're looking off towards the west, and with that colder air, you can also see all the storm reports the past 8 hours for us here in central Indiana. You don't have all the reports in northwest Indiana and up towards Illinois. I don't have those activated right now, but I could probably see. Yeah, look at all the severe weather. I know there's a lot of different layers here. Yeah, it gets a little wonky here, but farther to the north is where we had the highest tornado threat and the biggest hail threat. We've mainly had gusty winds as our primary threat, although we definitely had a circulation come right through northern Hendricks County around Pittsboro and Liston, right by the Tri-West Junior Senior High School there, especially by the middle school. We had some damage reports, but you do see all the tornado reports in northwest Indiana from Kankakee to Knox. There you're coming into Stark County, kind of hugging the southern end of Porter County, and then right north of Rensselaer as well. So we have crews that are on the way there to get more information. But this morning, if you look, you can see even some snow being reported off farther to the north and west, and there may even be a flurry coming up here shortly. Let me take those off. Okay, what we'll probably do is wrap here in just a moment, but I just want to show you where the storms are. They're in eastern Indiana and farther to the southeast as well. There's still the pink color showing you the tornado watch that goes until noon. It looks like it just got deactivated for Marion County and Johnson County. Now as the storms come on through, the tornado threat is now done. But this, you'll probably see the pink be removed over time.
They canceled a big portion of that watch.
I think it went all the way to maybe even Henry. It's hard to say with the
Randolph County dropped, Delaware County dropped.
Okay.
Yep, all of those eastern counties. Besides, it's still in effect for Wayne and then down to Decatur.
Okay, so what Lindsay's talking about is here the pink color. I know the radar is kind of covering it right now, but anywhere from Wayne to Decatur County. Look, yeah, even Rush County's been deactivated, but Fayette County, Franklin County, and Union counties, we have the tornado watch still in effect because the storm's not fully on through, but it's just about to be. The leading edge has the gusty wind line coming right through Wayne County, and that's going to be wrapping up through Forest Hills and over by the airport. And then this thing is mainly into Ohio. Abington, we still have some heavy rain over by the fire department there and kind of downtown Abington. Rain and storms pushing off to the east, coming right through the Shelton fireworks there on the east side. You got the big exit there with US 40, heavy rain, and I don't see as much lightning this time, but you may still hear some rumbles of thunder this morning. Back west around Meyer and Belden, the rain slowly starting to lighten up a little bit lighter, but still fairly steady from Centerville to Cambridge City, Hagerstown, and Newcastle, back off to the west, and you get closer at Indianapolis, and namely some spotty sprinkles out there now this morning. And the next thing to be watching will be maybe some redeveloping showers or rumble of thunder throughout the rest of the day. We'll continue to kind of monitor how things are looking like the rest of the day as colder air is rushing in. I mean, we've cooled off a little bit, mainly just due to the rain, but we haven't really switched our wind direction yet. You can see the wind on the map still coming out of the west and kind of the southwest, keeping us still fairly mild, especially for March standards. I mean, at 59, we're still way above the average high for the day. But then you're noticing that colder air with 30s and 40s being reported in parts of northern Illinois, even northwest Indiana starting to cool off. So I'll go back to the radar and we'll start wrapping things up. Lindsey, did you have anything else this morning? We've been covering storms for a while. It's been a stormy night across much of the Ohio
and just,
Valley.
you know, it could get stormy again. Certainly not as severe as what rolled through northern Indiana last night. Probably not as severe as the widespread warnings that we had along that long line of storms. But we do have Sean Ash. He is in. He's going to be in all afternoon. Angela's also going to be in, just in case we get a few more isolated storms that perhaps reach severe limits. This is going to primarily shift to the southern portion of the viewing area. So let me see if I can pull up the latest from the Storm Prediction Center today. This is going to be the outlook for this afternoon. This is shifting more toward the southeastern portion of the state. So as you can see, that's a level 2 of 5, meaning there could be some scattered strong to severe storms, and the primary threat going to shift from more a rotating tornado type situation to more of a straight line wind, potentially some damaging wind threats that's going to fire up as that boundary is kind of stalled, as you mentioned, in southern Indiana. Between about noon and 5. There could be a few more warnings. The rest of the team's going to be here, have you covered through the day.
So after dinner time, hopefully get a break, but then make sure you get the sweatshirt and the jacket, because that colder air, my goodness, it's going to feel so chilly tomorrow. I'm going to end with this. This shows you the active alerts across the state. Tornado watches being deactivated over time as the storms come on through, because it's along the leading edge where you have most of that rotation. Still severe thunderstorm warning wrapping up in far eastern Indiana, far eastern Wayne County. The storm is mainly out of Fayette County now. This will be deactivated here in a little bit, or allowed to expire. I do want to let you know we do have some green zones showing you aerial flood advisories, where we have picked up 1 to 2 up to 3 inches of rain in some spots, and there's a new one now for there around Jackson County into Ripley, Jennings County, and southern Decatur County too. So there is more flooding. These are places that already picked up way too much water last week. So
that's through 1 p.m. That southern one? Yep.
1 p.m. Do you know what the northern one is by chance?
Let me get it. 10:45.
10:45. Oh, here in just 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully that gets deactivated. Some of us have picked up some rain. So once again, if you see ponding on the road or you do see water on the road, make sure that you don't drive in it.
The refreezing too, I'm a little concerned about tonight with the lows.
It's going to get cold quickly. The question is, how much will the wind dry off things? If they don't, and temperatures are dropping into the upper 20s and low 30s, there could be ice patches on the road. So we'll be watching you closely tomorrow morning. But for this morning, we're wrapping up thunderstorms. The severe threat mainly now into Ohio. Still expect some on and off rain throughout the rest of the day, and maybe some more pop-ups later today, but the whole weather team will be in. Lindsey, I appreciate you. Thank you, Sean, as well. Make sure you keep it here, keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.